This is a paid presentation of Jorge Granados. Jorge Granados is a realtor and an independent broker licensed by the California Department of Real Estate. His office is identified as Jorge Granados Broker. Hi, I'm Alan Mendelson, and what's the number one subject of discussion in Southern California? Well, of course, it's real estate, and that's what this program's about. You're going to meet Jorge Granados. He's a realtor, and he's got lots of stories to tell you and things that are going to help you out. In fact, here's Jorge Granados. Good to see you, Jorge.
Hey, Alan. Good to see you.
Tell me, in the next half hour, what are we going to find out?
Well, hopefully get to introduce myself to you and talk about 2 new homes that I currently have on the market, and maybe have you meet a couple of my clients who have done transactions with me that'll help you get an idea what's in store from start to finish with me involved in real estate with you.
All right, let's find out what Jorge Granados can tell us about real estate in Southern California.
This is 13827 Muckler Avenue, Unit 17, City of Paramount. It's a tri-level unit, so you have a 2-car garage on the ground level. Then you have your main living space. So this unit's about 1,360 square feet. It has engineered hardwood floorings throughout, the exception being in the kitchen and bathrooms, which have tile flooring. And because it's a tri-level, you have 2 sets of stairs. They also have engineered hardwood floor, which makes this unit very easy to maintain clean. It is part of an HOA, so you have a homeowners association fee. It's $165 a month, but that includes gated access into the premises, some of the utilities, your trash, your water. It has a playground area for someone who moves in with children, or a picnic meeting area that is also available as part of the association amenities. It's an end unit, so it has a lot of additional natural light, which also makes it a great value at $410,000. So it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. Master suite has a walk-in closet with vaulted ceilings. There is also a hall bathroom for the other 2 bedrooms. And half a bath on the main living space area, which also makes it a great value at $410,000.
Call Jorge Granados at 562-907-4349 about this property.
I would say I deal primarily with first-time home buyers. I'm bilingual, so I have a lot of Spanish-speaking client base. Also have investors, people who are trying to either move up or move down. Last set of investors I've worked with also used 1031 exchange so they could defer their tax gain. And from there, unfortunately, I've also dealt with probate and trust sales, including, close family and friends who don't know what they're doing other than mom passed, dad passed. Now they have a property they have no idea what to do with.
Let's talk about first-time buyers. First-time buyers really need special handling, don't they?
They do. Buying a home is the largest investment most people are going to make, and they have no idea what it's going to require of them. They're not familiar with what they're signing. Legal commitment when you're trying to buy a home. You need financing. A lot of times they don't know if they're going to qualify. They have questions when they deal with their down payment. And so I try to teach my clients from start to finish everything that's involved. We have an initial consultation, generally will take about 2 hours, where I go over every part of the contract that they're going to sign. And then I introduce them to a lender that I've done business with, probably about 15 years or so, who will take the same type of care that I like to deal with my clients when they deal with their financing. And it's a lot of hand-holding, every step of the way.
You just told me that you'll have an initial consultation with a first-time buyer that lasts 2 hours. Well, I've had experience with realtors who don't have consultations that last 2 hours. They just want to get you to looking at houses, get you to buy something, maybe get you to sell real fast so they can get their commission checks and move on to the next customer. That's amazing that you'll spend 2 hours with somebody your first meeting.
Actually, I do a 2-hour consultation with any buyer, whether they're a first-time buyer or a seasoned buyer, because I want to make sure that they understand what they're getting into. Just because they tell me I buy a home once a year or I've bought a home every couple of years doesn't mean that they know the ins and outs of the contract. And I need to make sure that my client is educated.
You know, over the years, I've dealt with a lot of realtors. No one has ever sat down with me for 2 hours. They want to make a deal quick. They want to show you a property. They want to make their commission. They want to get you out the door and move on to the next customer. That's amazing that you'll do a 2-hour consultation.
Well, maybe I look at my business a little different. Definitely, it is a business for me. We are all in business to make money. That being said, I do not see a buyer or a seller as a paycheck. I look at it as a long-term relationship. I want them to feel comfortable with what they're buying. I also want them to feel that their interest was always put first. As a realtor, I have a fiduciary responsibility to the client to always put their interest first. So almost 80% of the people I deal with will stick with me, will buy with me. 20% do not. But out of that 20%, I still get referrals because they feel they didn't buy a home not because they couldn't buy a home, just because I put their interest first and I explained to them, this situation that you're considering is probably not the right time for you. So I still get referrals from them, and I keep in touch with everybody that I have ever crossed paths with.
Let's talk about how you deal with investors.
Well, I have a finance background, so I like to sit down with the investors and look at their total picture. Again, it's about an 1.5 to 2 hour consultation. Try to figure out what their goals are. Try to figure out if they have a strategy already in place that they maybe discuss with their CPA or accountant. And if they don't, I try to pencil something out and advise them to go have another follow-up consultation with their tax preparer and make sure that my thoughts align with what the tax plan would be, and then try to maximize what they can get for their return.
When you talk to an investor about buying properties, do you look at them as, do you look at the property as being what's best for them or what's best for long-term or short-term?
Try to figure out exactly what their goal is. Most investors will tell me, I want to get a property that I can see myself holding on to about 5 or 6 years, and then I want to see what's next. Every investor or every buyer for that situation is different because they all have a different strategy. A realistic investor will worry more about the numbers and not necessarily what the property looks like. They are the easier ones to deal with because they are not attached to the physical structure. They are looking purely at the numbers. So we sit down and try to analyze, will this return maximize your investment? And if it doesn't, I would advise them to look at something else. But obviously, the investor or the consumer at that time makes the ultimate decision.
What do you tell investors about their home search, their investment search? What's your most important advice to them?
Be realistic. You know, sometimes we get into a search and we have an expectation of what we'd like and where we'd like it to be. So generally, I will take them on a home tour probably 3 or 4 times. I'm trying to analyze what catches their attention, what are their likes and dislikes, and then based on what I've seen and based on what I've learned from them in the consultations, I will make suggestions. I know you, as an example, I know you may have told me you really want to buy a home in Burbank, but you work in Los Angeles and you have family in Covina. I will then start telling them, well, you know what? We looked at all the properties in Burbank. We didn't really find something you like. How about we start looking at Pasadena? Arcadia. It's close to the freeway, still kind of puts you in the same scenario, and it might surprise you. My job partly is to look at what their needs and wants are and try to fulfill it for them, even if I have to make some suggestions for them to think outside the box.
Let's talk about the sellers. You got to give sellers special handling as well.
Yes, sellers have an expectation right now that they want a home sold quickly for the highest dollar at the lowest cost. Unfortunately, sometimes that comes with a lot of negotiating back and forth before we secure the contract to actually sell the home. Right now, sellers have a lot of other options that may look appealing, but ultimately I have to show them that they're going to get what they pay for, especially if they're considering discount brokerages who are looking at you purely as a paycheck and by the numbers. The more homes they have for sale, they're going to meet their quota, and it may put you as a seller at a disadvantage. So one of the things I try to do, obviously, do large marketing packages, including potentially putting them on television now.
What's the advantage of putting a house on TV?
Well, the advantage of putting them on TV, number one, it avoids traffic for the homeowner. It lets more people see the home without actually having to physically walk through the property. And it allows it to be viewed at any time, day or night, instead of having to come bother the home seller, make an appointment. The home seller has to rush to make the home look nice and pretty for everybody to come in and look at it. Just have to do it one time, and that's it.
So a lot of realtors try to sell the idea of, I'm going to have a lot of open houses for you, but open houses really aren't as efficient a marketing tool as many people think.
They're not. Open house, in my opinion, serves one of two things. Number one, get as many people into the property at one time, which could be an advantage for the seller because it'll limit the visitors during the week. The other thing sometimes is the agent is trying to use it to potentially find other buyers who aren't necessarily looking at your particular home that is being showcased at that time.
That's one of the secrets of the real estate business. When somebody comes to your open house, the realtor might be stealing them to buy another property.
I don't necessarily think that they're stealing them, but it can happen 9 out of 10 times, I would think, because obviously if you get 10, 15, 20 people, you may only have 1 or 2 parties who are interested in that specific home, because buyers again come in with ideas that they want the home to meet multiple items on their checklist, and if it doesn't, they're going to keep moving on. So the realtor uses it as an opportunity to try and convert that prospective buyer onto something else that's on the market.
Let's talk about what you do specifically for sellers. What makes you different from other realtors?
Well, for sellers, there's a lot of things that I do for them. Unfortunately, sometimes I've got to come and cut the grass for them. Got to cut the hedges. Sometimes there's minor repairs in the home before the home comes on the market. So I either do it myself or have handyman or other vendors that come and do it for them. Photography, video recording, drone photography, flyers, postcards, the things that most other agents would do. The other thing is, a lot of my sellers, they demand different availability. I have some home sellers that call me at 4 o'clock in the morning. They need me to help them come move furniture. They need me to help them move out of the home. You know what? I'm service oriented, whatever it takes to get the sale.
Let's meet one of the clients of Jorge Granados. Dr. Armand Nazir is an investor who works with Jorge Granados. 2 properties
Yes.
bought, 2 properties
Property
sold.
yes. And he's been an awesome realtor, a wonderful person.
Now these are investment properties.
Yes, these are investment properties that we've sold, that we had in Corona, and then we did a 1031 exchange where we used the proceeds from this property to buy two other properties. The previous properties we held together with my brother, and then from two properties we expanded to four properties.
So he knows what he's doing now.
He absolutely knows what he's doing. He's great at basically making you, aware of everything at every step, and holding your finger and walking through every step. Right?
So he actually goes and works closely with you.
Like I said, more for over the months or years that I've dealt with him, he's become more of a friend than more of my realtor, because he's just an awesome guy.
Tell me, did he help you pick out the properties?
Yes, he did. He did. We must have seen at least 40, 50 properties before we bought what we bought. And, the transaction was totally smooth. He'd be there exactly what time, whenever you wanted him, doesn't matter night or day. He would be there, it's just a telephone call away. And
he spent that much time with you looking at different properties.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He would come to my office, pick me up, and we would go together in his car at his expense. We'd go out for lunch. He would pay for lunch. We had a good time, actually. It was a fabulous experience. I've bought properties in the past. I've dealt with a lot of realtors in the past, but I don't think I've come across anybody like Jorge, right? Most of the time, people are just worried about collecting the commission and running away. But Jorge is not this guy. Jorge is a guy who will basically stick with you, lead to you the whole process. If you don't know anything, you're happy to ask him questions. He will get you the information you need, printed or otherwise, and he basically makes sure you're happy with what you're getting before you jump into the thick of things.
Now I'm going to ask you the big question. Did you make money on these
Oh,
investments?
absolutely, absolutely. We doubled our property in Corona, and the other properties we bought, we rented them out. It's been a year since we rented them out. Just last week we were out there trying to increase the rents. Both the properties, we increased the rents by almost 15%, and it's a fabulous experience.
And he's helped you to maximize your profits.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, right? Obviously, if we are looking for something overboard, he's obviously there to correct you, because we have unrealistic expectations. He'll give you what is realistic and guide you to get you where you want to go.
That's very important what you just said.
Right.
He keeps you looking at realistic goals.
Absolutely, absolutely, because everybody thinks their home is worth millions of dollars, right? Because that's your palace. For you, that is it. But he's the guy who will basically bring you down and say, what, it might be more than what you think it is. Oh, no, it's not. And he'll tell it to you like it is, right? It's no point putting a property up for a listing when there's no value for it, right? You want to be realistic so you can maximize your profit, and at the same time not be sitting on the market for too long, because the longer it sits, the more it decays, right? And decay leads to less pricing and less profits, right?
So he's actually helped you manage your business.
Yes, he does. He does. When I have issues in the property, sometimes I travel a lot. If I'm not in town, I just need to pick up the phone call and say, Jorge, I'm having an issue. He's out there handling the tenants, handling repairs if need be at times. He's there. Like I said, he's just one of those guys which is unique.
You got your money's worth.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't go anywhere else. Now that I have him, it's like one of those things they say, when you find a good mechanic or a good doctor, or in this case, a good realtor, you keep him for life.
If you're a first-time buyer or seller or investor, call Jorge Granados at 562-907-4349. 562-907-4349. Jorge Granados works with mortgage broker Mark Luas, who's able to present mortgage products to his clients that other mortgage brokers just won't touch. He actively helps first-time buyers and is willing to help them get the best product. He also works closely with investors. And now Mark Luas is offering mortgage products for mobile homes, which is something most mortgage brokers won't touch. His loan products range from those for starter homes to super jumbo loans up to $5 million. Mark Luas also gives top service for clients seeking VA, conventional, commercial, and FHA loans. He can help you with various first-time homebuyer loan programs, and he can help you with the latest loan programs with limited documentation, as well as loans that are based solely on bank statements, which can help self-employed home buyers. Mark Luas and Compass Lending Group also offer reverse mortgages for seniors. And now 3% down conventional loans are available. Call Mark Luas at 562-618-5966. 562-618-5966. Let's meet another client of Jorge Granados. Kathleen Simons is a real estate investor.
I've done 4 houses. This year is going to be 5. He's actually amazing, probably the hardest working person I've ever had as a realtor in my life. He's honest, he's trustworthy, he never lets you down. He works for you even when he thinks the deal is going to be lost. He's amazing.
Tell me what he does to make a deal happen.
He really is a very good liaison with the other party. He really is a great negotiator. He talks to them, makes them feel comfortable, makes me feel comfortable. I've just never worked with anybody as honest and as likable as Jorge.
Now, you've done personal residences as well
Correct.
as investment?
Correct.
Tell me, with the investment properties, how has he helped you with those?
We had several up in the high desert. They were many problems with them. The original hard money lender had put deeds behind my first trust deed that we knew nothing about. Jorge untangled everything, went to the city with me. He was beyond dedicated. I wouldn't have, if he was my son, I don't think he could have been much more dedicated.
Would another realtor do that?
No, I don't believe so. Honestly, he's really the best. I'm not saying that because I'm being interviewed. I'm saying that because I really believe he's the best.
You've worked with other realtors.
Oh, many times.
And what's happened with similar cases?
90% of the time, I've found the houses I wanted to buy, and I've really had very little interaction with any of the realtors, and most of my expectations have never been met. Jorge is incredible. He goes over and above what anyone would ever ask you to do.
Has he actually helped you find the actual investment properties?
Yes, he has. He's been terrific.
So he does a lot of work for you.
He does a tremendous amount of work. I've really, honestly, I know I keep saying it over and over again, but I've never had anybody work this hard in my behalf.
Now tell me about this, because this is kind of important here. It sounds like he's acting as your partner without getting a percentage of your business.
He is not a partner. He's a realtor, has become a wonderful friend. I would recommend him and have recommended him to a number of people. I think if people don't use him, they're doing themselves a disservice.
But he's actually doing what a partner would do without actually being a partner.
That is correct. Yes, yes. He has really stepped over the line of a realtor, and he really has taken on the role of, say, a 50% partner, which he is not.
Tell me about what is involved in that 50% that he's not getting paid for.
He has actually been through houses with us that we have staged. He has walked through walkthroughs. He has gone to attorneys with me. He's really put himself out there more than anybody I've ever known. He really has the ability to care about his transactions. He cares about the people he's involved with. He actually makes them feel like family. So you don't feel like you're just a number or a proposition. He really kind of takes you and makes you feel like you're part of the group.
He doesn't just want the commission.
No, not at all. No. In fact, there's been times he's had to walk away from commissions where he's been so helpful and didn't get a dime.
Well, are you telling me he's told you not to buy certain properties that you wanted to buy?
Certain properties that we both agreed together probably weren't a good fit.
Yeah. And that's helped you save money.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And a couple of properties I bought without his help, I wish I hadn't, because I got in a lot of trouble. And he has been the one who's untangled them all. So he's really gone over and above what anybody could ask.
Let's take a look at another listing from Jorge Granados.
Well, Alan, welcome to 2567 Kurt Avenue in the City of Commerce. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home. It's about 960 square feet, corner lot. Currently 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. It has original hardwood flooring throughout the home. Has an open floor plan from the living room, dining area, and kitchen. It is currently rented. Generates a rental income of $2,750 a month. Backyard is private, completely fenced in. Has a 2-car detached garage that has laundry hookups for you as well in the garage.
Is this for a first-time buyer? Is this for an investor?
You know what? This could actually work for both. You could have a first-time home buyer even a move-up buyer who's trying to get out of like a condo townhome into a private residence. It's priced right at $500,000, or it could be for an investor because at $2,750, that's actually slightly higher than market rent for City of Commerce right now. And Commerce is in high demand. This property is close proximity to the freeway, just north of Washington Boulevard and Interstate 5. So it makes it easy for you to get into downtown LA or Orange County.
If you're a first-time buyer or seller or investor, call Jorge Granados at 562-907-4349. 562-907-4349. Jorge Granados works with mortgage broker Mark Luas, who's able to present mortgage products to his clients that other mortgage brokers just won't touch. He actively helps first-time buyers and is willing to help them get the best product. He also works closely with investors. And now Mark Luas is offering mortgage products for mobile homes, which is something most mortgage brokers won't touch. His loan products range from those for starter homes to super jumbo loans up to $5 million. Mark Luas also gives top service for clients seeking VA, conventional, commercial, and FHA loans. He can help you with various first-time homebuyer loan programs, and he can help you with the latest loan programs with limited documentation, as well as loans that are based solely on bank statements, which can help self-employed home buyers. Mark Luas and Compass Lending Group also offer reverse mortgages for seniors. And now 3% down conventional loans are available. Call Mark Luas at 562-618-5966, 562-618-5966.
I try to teach my clients from start to finish everything that's involved. We have an initial consultation, generally will take about 2 hours, where I go over every part of the contract that they're going to sign.
You just told me that you'll have an initial consultation with a first-time buyer that lasts 2 hours? Well, I've had experience with realtors who don't have consultations that last 2 hours. They just want to get you to looking at houses, get you to buy something, maybe get you to sell real fast so they can get their commission checks and move on to the next customer. That's amazing that you'll spend 2 hours with somebody you're first meeting.
Actually, I do a 2-hour consultation with any buyer, whether they're a first-time buyer or a seasoned buyer, because I want to make sure that they understand what they're getting into.
Thanks for joining us. Remember, Jorge Granados, he's a realtor ready to talk to you, ready to give you that free 2-hour consultation. I doubt you'll find another realtor will do that. I'm Alan Mendelson. Thanks for watching. This is a paid presentation of Jorge Granados. Jorge Granados is a realtor and an independent broker licensed by the California Department of Real Estate. His office is identified as Jorge Granados Broker.